Edi, we're here at the SCF Forum Asia. It's great to have you involved and the opportunity to speak to you on some of the issues that have been raised today. So can I start by asking you what Kyriba is hearing from corporates? What are some of the challenges they're facing around working capital?
I think that when we interact with corporates in Europe, in the US or in Asia where we have operations, so we can talk to very different type of organizations worldwide, they all see a very big growth in international trade, and I think what they all looking for is simplicity to connect buyers and suppliers on a worldwide context. So I think these solutions are becoming more and more international, so they really need to be supported by providers, organizations that are worldwide and are following their expansion in terms of trade finance.
So we've had the opportunity to meet lots of corporate treasurers and procurement directors today. What have you got from today's event, from the conversations you've had with those corporates?
I think it was a great session, because we could see the level of interest of the corporates in Asia, the involvement of the funders, the banks and the non-banks that are funding. And basically what I think is that it's just confirming that most of the operations between US, Europe and Asia will be driven by a smooth technology. So the better we are in improving the way buyers, suppliers, funders are connected, the easier it will be for the ecosystem to better trade in the world.
So Edi, Kyriba's been in this market for many years. You're known for treasury and trade technology. Give us a little flavour of what you're working on at the moment. What are some of the things we're likely to see from Kyriba in the near future?
I think that we're going to integrate more and more the solutions of external providers. I'm talking about banks, but I'm also talking about other platforms. I think the opening of the platform of Kyriba is very important through APIs, because the ecosystem really needs interconnections between the platforms. The second thing also in terms of business is that we see that suppliers and buyers are looking for additional solutions in the funding of the working capital. I'm referring, for example, to the purchase order. So they are not only interested in financing the invoice, but the purchase order. So Kyriba is working on that one. And last, during the conference, there were fantastic sessions around dynamic discounting and reverse factoring maybe being in conflict. Our view is that these are two fantastic complementary solutions, and we're working on it to better integrate dynamic discounting and reverse factoring.
Well, let's just come back to that purchase order idea. It's something that treasurers have been interested in for a long time, and suppliers want to see financing available backed by purchase orders. How is that going to happen? How soon can we see that?
I think the challenge will be to align the funder requirements and the buyer requirements. Because when we talk about purchase order, the corporate has his view and has some requirements and some challenges that may not be the same that the funder has. So our role will really be to make sure that we develop on the basis of the requirements of the different players, and not only for banks or not only for corporates. And in that context, one of the things we do on a regular basis, we gather the funders, the banks and the corporates, the buyers and even the suppliers during a session, during a day, and we listen to them, because we want to make sure that we take into account the requirements of all the category of users. So I think one of our challenge will be to make sure that we analyze very well the needs of the different players that may be a little bit different sometimes, and we make the best compromise for the market.